Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich. Name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. So today, guys, we're out on the 2012 Suzuki Boulevard M109R Suzy. And what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're going to take a little cruise as we talk about me getting back into riding. My brother's recently asked, hey guys, what got you back into riding motorcycles after he knew my experience of riding motorcycles in the past. So we're going to cover that a little bit in this video while we go out and we take a ride. We're in Lake City, Florida. We've gotten quite a bit of chilly days here, but today we're again in about 66 degrees or so. And, we're going to get out and cruise a little while, while we have this discussion. Anyway, for all of you guys that's been here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you guys that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. For all of you guys that have subscribed to the channel and left comments and so forth in the comment sections, and we've been communicating back and forth, guys, it's been awesome. I'm learning so much from you guys, and definitely appreciate the support on our last video that we did. Lauren and I have recently done a video, my wife and I, can she learn to ride? And we have gotten so much feedback on that video, guys. For a lot of you folks out there, you know that one of the challenges that Lauren will be facing is that she does not drive a manual car. And, it was told to us by the place that we are looking into and doing her classes that it might be a great idea for her to do a private lesson, because learning to ride without being able to drive a manual is going to be a little bit more challenging than she probably expect. So we have taken that approach to it. A lot of you guys have chimed in on your experience, either teaching someone to ride or learning to ride yourself without having any experience in driving a manual. One guy did express that both of his sons learned to ride motorcycles before they learned to drive a manual car. So, we know it's doable. It will depend on her. I did express to her that I'm going to record her private session, but I really decided against that, guys. I don't want her to have any added pressure. I don't want to feel like we're doing this just for YouTube. If this is something that she wants to do, I want her to enjoy the experience of it. And of course, whether she decides to pursue it or not, we'll just come back and we'll do a video, and we'll have her share her opinion of her experience. A lot of you guys out there, guys, I realize is on a similar journey that I am on, getting back into riding after being away from riding for many years for whatever reason. I'd love for you guys to put it in the comment section why you got out of riding before, if that's the case, and why you've been motivated to get back into riding. For some of you guys out there, you're riding now in your later years. And, for those guys, or for those folks out there, share your experience also. One guy did leave in the comment section that he learned to ride a motorcycle at 58 years old. He has also acquired a pilot's license in his later years. Someone else spoke of their retirement and them riding all over the country, and also doing some rides in other countries. I did a video also why I didn't ride the Dragon, and got a real interesting comment on that. One guy explaining about all the different places he have ridden here in the U.S. that he thought were better roads to ride than the Dragon. Well, I've never ridden the Dragon, so I can't make a comparison, but I can tell you guys, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Foothill Parkway, and a lot of those places is some of the most awesome experience we have had getting back into riding. And, it's one of the reasons, guys, that we decided to purchase the 2019 Honda Goldwing. With my wife's comfort in mind and for her to be, enjoying this journey with me, decided we'll purchase a motorcycle that is geared more to her comfort. I'm not suffering from the comfort of that motorcycle either, man. It's been awesome owning that motorcycle. I haven't done any videos recently with the motorcycle because, again, this is my baby here, the Suzuki Boulevard M109R. And, when we're out doing things with her, we'll be riding the Honda Goldwing. But right now it's in the shop with them looking at the cruise control, something that I have never been able to use since I purchased that motorcycle. So So, big craziness going on about that. But let's get back to the topic here at hand. Why did I get back into riding? Now, my brother always seemed to be curious about riding motorcycles. He knows of my experience in the past. Like I said in my other videos, I started riding motorcycles in the mid to late 1990s. The guy that encouraged me to get into riding motorcycles at the time, we lost to a motorcycle accident. Shortly after he had that accident and he lost his life, I sold my motorcycle and I haven't owned a motorcycle for 20 plus years. Now, let me explain to folks the difference between riding back then on the sports bikes that we rode on and the journey that I'm on now. Now, back in those days, the first bike that I purchased was a ZX600R. Shortly after that motorcycle, I bought a RF900. All the folks that I was affiliated with at the time was into racing and all kind of performance modifications for the street motorcycles. I learned to ride in the Maryland, D.C. area. And, many of the days, man, that we were out riding, we have turned the Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore areas into full-fledged racetracks. Now, the idea, guys, of riding motorcycles like those on the streets at the speeds that we were riding at is definitely a recipe for disaster. In all honesty, I don't remember the joys of riding back in those days. I remember every day I got on that motorcycle seemed like a adventure of survival. Am I going to make it back home? Am I going to be careful enough? I now realize more and more how lucky I was that, something more severe didn't happen to me. But what I did realize back in those days, guys, I worked at a trauma center. I saw all the stuff that was coming into the trauma centers. And, I realized that the way we were riding on the streets was way beyond my skills of riding. And to be honest with you, way beyond most of the guys, if not all of the guys' skills that was on those trips. There's no way you could be out in traffic doing the difference in speeds that we were doing. I watch a guy called MC Ryder, a motorcycle instructor coach, that put videos out every Friday, and he talk about road strategies. And one of the things that he's big on, guys, is what he referred to as speed differential. And speed differential, as far as he's concerned, is one of those things that would either get you in lots of trouble out there on a motorcycle or even cause you your life. And it's interesting stuff. There's so many things out there, guys, that I have learned now that I didn't know over the years of riding. A lot of classes that I'm taking now, I didn't even know was available back in those days of riding a motorcycle. I do a practice session with a guy called Robert Simmons. Paying It Forward is the name of his channel. This guy's a retired motor officer from the New York City region that teaches, classes on, total control of a motorcycle. He called it being the boss of your motorcycle. And, slow speed drills, slow speed maneuvers, the things that will be taught by a police officer to stay safe on the streets. Going to take a ride here through an area, guys, that I love to frequent. This is a fast developing area, one of the nicer communities here in Lake City. The joys of getting out and riding and seeing the development of these places is freaking awesome. Yeah, guys, Robert Simmons, Paying It Forward. This guy's videos is must-watch YouTube videos. And, must getting out and practice if you ride motorcycles. One of the things that I found interesting is as we go out, I'll pack my bike up, I'll go all the way to Pooler, Georgia. I do these practice sessions. I've been there on different occasions. And one of the things that he does that's interesting is before he starts his practice sessions, he gets to know his riders. He asks them how long they've been riding, where they're from, how long they've been riding motorcycles, the type of motorcycle they're riding, and what kind of experience they have, or even better, what their skill level is from a scale of 1 to 10. And it's amazing, guys. We're folks that out there that have been riding for decades that struggle to execute the basic safety drills on a motorcycle. One person explained it as like, picture that baby that learns to run before he can creep or crawl. You know, how often would you see something like that? Or would we expect to see that? A baby that learns to run or walk before he can creep or crawl. Guys, when we get on these motorcycles, we got to learn the basics. Now, of course, when we do the MSF class, we're doing the basics there. They're teaching us the introduction to riding motorcycles. But it's more important, guys, that we get out there after we leave a parking lot doing about 20 miles or so in a parking lot with 200 or 250cc motorcycles, that, we go ahead and further our skills before we get out there. We're doing 70 and 80 on highways, and we're riding the Dragon, and, we're doing all of these challenging things that's a little beyond our skill limits. But getting back into riding, guys, all the stuff that I'm learning now, being able to take my wife along on this tour. Folks, been 20 plus years. But one of the things that I found interesting was when I sent him pictures of the channel that I was starting, and I sent him pictures of my Suzuki Boulevard M109R and the Honda Goldwing. One of the first reactions I got out of him after he asked me why did I get back into riding is saying, hey man, I got to come up there and ride one of those motorcycles. You know, Guys, the idea that we're thinking that if we can ride a bicycle, we can ride a motorcycle is a mistake. It's not as simple as that. Folks that's riding could tell you that. Folks that take any of these advanced safety classes will definitely be able to tell you riding a motorcycle is not like riding a bicycle, guys. Not at all. But for all of you guys that's curious enough to want to ride a motorcycle, like I said, $100 helmet or so, $200, 2 days of some of the most fun you will ever have in your life. I promise you that. And you'll walk away from that class, learning the fundamentals and deciding whether the risk of riding a motorcycle is worth the reward. If anybody had asked me a couple of years back whether it was, I would probably be a little leery about that answer. If you ask me today, absolutely. Plenty of videos, guys, out there on the risks and the rewards of riding a motorcycle. And I'm going to say, I want to quote one of my favorite YouTube couples here, Boots and Jeans Rider. I thought it was best put by the husband Rich when he said what motivated his wife and him to want to get out and ride. Here's a couple that ride the Honda Goldwing all over the U.S., all four corners of this country, thousands of miles on motorcycles. And the best way I can say he put it, and I hope he don't mind me using his scenario here, but he said, you know what? Life is like a game. And in that game of life, you got to decide, man, whether you want to be a spectator or whether you want to be a player, whether you want to be on the bench or whether you want to be on the court. And I'm going to say it to Rich, man, I want to be a player. Not only I want to be a player, guys, I want to be the best player I can be. I want to be an MVP. For all of you folks out there that love sports, love watching games and so forth, you enjoy the game, man. You could only imagine how the players that's in that game feel, especially when they're successful. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'm always going to encourage you guys to get out and do these classes. Robert Simmons paying it forward. He clearly explained in his video, guys, if you learn to be the boss of your motorcycle, you're not afraid or intimidated by your motorcycle, you're going to have a lot more fun riding. Ride like a pro, Jerry Palladino. I've done 2 classes with that guy also. This guy is famous for, again, teaching motorcycle officers to ride and teaching civilians how to ride like motor officers. And again, very well put when he said, if you think you enjoy riding your motorcycles, now wait till you know what the hell you're doing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to sum this video up here now. Enjoying Lake City views here. For all of you guys up north, I watch Craig Hainsworth, GB Winging It. All you guys in that New York region that are probably not able to get out and ride now because of bad weather, I'm hoping you guys can live vicariously through me if you watch this video. But, Again, don't care what you ride. Put some safety protection on your motorcycle. Get out, do these advanced safety classes so you're not afraid of dropping the motorcycle and you have a little bit more confidence in your ability to stay safe out there. Anyway, Rich, the Return Rider, out.